What's going on, YouTube? Back at you with another video here. And today was horrible. Today just absolutely horrible. Um, so I really and truly, to be honest with you, don't want to talk about today's dashes. I really don't. But I that's how I roll on this channel. I'm going to give you guys the good, the bad, the ugly, and the downright pitiful. And today was just absolutely pitiful. There's no other way around it. It's even more frustrating because I had this surgery yesterday. I still can't wear a regular hat. I tried to just before starting this, and it was too sore. So I did this goofy setup for another week. So I'm frustrated that I didn't, work yesterday because of this surgery, and then I want to try to make up for it the other 6 days. I figure, well, just tack on $25 to each of the 6 days goals, and there you go. It's not as simple as that. It's not. And anybody that does this full time or close to full time for an extended period of time, you guys all know how it is. At some points, like today, for me, you're gonna get slapped hard across the face and have like a slice of humble pie like jammed down your throat. It is what it is. I log in at 6, a little bit before that, $11 order, but I go Meyer, but I got to shop 24 items. I don't think so. Here at 6:30, I was getting bored. I turned on Uber, but a lot of good that's going to do, but I turned it on anyway. How about a $5 14-mile McDonald's? Would that interest anybody? Couple minutes goes by, $9 15 miles. Sounds like a great decline to me. $11 another upside down TJ's. Going to Obet's, Groveport, take your pick, Alum Creek, I don't know. Decline. 750, 7.5 mile Tim Hortons. I don't have the time here. I think I declined that. 650. So we're like almost an hour into this. $5, 4.5 mile Tim Hortons. I guess I got to get started sometime, on this dash. Completed that at 7:07. $3 and a $2 tip. Okay. Right away, $5 2 mile McDonald's. Okay. With 13 minutes. This might have been my best order of the whole entire day. Might have been. Well, you guys see what you think. 2 and 3. Okay, 13 minutes, $5. That's outstanding by today's standards. 26 minutes goes by. Usually, if it is what it is. Sometimes it can be slow from that 6 to 7, but to not get anything for close to a half hour in the 7 o'clock a.m. block, what's going on here? $12. You might as well say $12 10-mile Meyer. Okay, I normally wouldn't take something like this at this time. Okay, but I've been sitting here I waited, I had like 30, 40 minutes of downtime in the first hour, close to a half hour of downtime in the second hour. So I took this. Sue me. I want to work. I think Uber was still turned on. I'm not getting anything on there. Okay, I'm sitting at Meyer, so I take the screenshot right away. There's your list, your 4 things to shop for. I don't normally do this for the stores, but on this what is it, Cafe Bustelo, is that how you say it? I can't even spit the words out. I actually restocked some of the items for Meyer. So thank you very much. I did some zoning for you today. Some stalker who must have been in a hurry stocked a bunch of something else in front of this, and I took them out. It's like digging for a treasure. I took out all the wrong stuff and I restocked it for them. I felt like going up to Leanne, the store manager, and getting with her and say, "Hey, Leanne, hey, listen, this is what the deal was on this coffee. This is not Aldi's, okay? You tell your associates we do not do that here at Meijer, okay? This isn't Aldi's. This is Meijer, gosh darn it. And whatever is supposed to be in a spot on a shelf, that's what's going to go there. We're not doing any of this, putting overstock in a wrong place. That's what Aldi's does." And then I had to. I marked the Folgers as unavailable. Went to get the last item, which I think was the sugar, and then by the time I went to see if the customer responded or what, it just automatically said refunded. So I didn't refund that. The customer did. Okay. So what was that? That was it's like a 6-minute shop. So I had a feeling as I saw the name on this order and where this was going, and on my way there, I had 98% sure that this was the Nike hat lady. Okay, if you're either new to the channel or you did not watch that video, it's just like a couple weeks back. I'll post a link in the description. I strongly recommend, if you haven't watched it already, pause this video, pull up the Nike hat story, watch that. That'll give you some background and context here on this customer. Okay, so I'm fairly sure it's the Nike hat lady. I pull in and park, and I send my message that I always send, always, on hand to customer orders. "Hello, this is Joe, your dasher. I've arrived with your order and now getting out of my car to deliver." The response that I get, I am aware as I'm tracking the order. Folks, this struck a nerve with me. This is, in my opinion, without like cursing at me or trying to belittle or demean me or anything, this comment right here is about as rude and disrespectful as it can possibly get from a customer. That's just my opinion. You guys, everybody else may have, and like I said, watch that other video for context, because I already know who this is. Okay, which makes this worse. Everybody's going to have their own opinion about it. But in my opinion, any human being with a shred of decency in them, when I sent my initial message, okay, let's say you are tracking it, and what I sent was kind of meaningless. Okay, if you had any shred of decency whatsoever, you would have just either just ignore my message, don't say anything. If you're on the way up to the front anyway, just don't respond. Or somebody that's decent and polite and a shred of decency would say, "Okay, I'm on my way." Done. Folks, maybe I'm just stressed out. Maybe I'm going through a really rough time in my life overall, or whatever the case, whatever the deal is right now going on. Wrong place, wrong time to be disrespecting me with a message like that. to say it struck a nerve is an understatement of all understatements. I walk in there and she's not there. She was already standing in there with the, a couple weeks ago with the Nike hat. And she's not in there. I look at the security guard. He sees me, and then I have a DoorDash bag, and he points to the table behind me to set deliveries on. Okay, so I take the stuff out of the bag, I put it on there. Uh, and before I have a chance to really do anything else, she comes through the door. And she, same as the last time, this dirty look, mean, miserable scowl on her face, and just takes the order. And I just said, have a good day. I barely even looked at her. I just said, have a good day, and I walked out. And like, it's funny. Another thing that struck me funny about this is, okay, lady, you're gonna walk out those doors and you're gonna have this scowl on your face towards me because, hey, you work in a dirty, disgusting, miserable, and depressing warehouse. Okay, warehouse worker, okay? And you lead a miserable life because of that. Hey, you're gonna throw that attitude on me of all people? Does this customer have any idea who she is confronting with that attitude? If anybody, and I mean anybody, has a right to be miserable, depressed, upset with themselves for leading a warehouse life, right here. Lady, my first job in a miserable, dirty, filthy, disgusting warehouse, your mother was probably in elementary school when I worked my first warehouse job. And I spent the vast majority of my 600-year adult life working in miserable warehouses. I'm the one that should have the scowl on their face and the attitude. You gotta be kidding me here. Mark, the order is complete at 8:18. So whatever this is, half hour, 35 minutes from my $12. Congratulations, $8 and a four. I was surprised I got a $4 tip. So I drop that off. I'm leaving the property. I get out to the exit. I'm about to turn out onto the main road. And like before I turn, I'm like, I stop for a second. My car is stopped at the intersection. And I'm like, no, screw this. No. I U-turned my car around. I went back into the parking lot, parked my car in a spot. I immediately got on the phone with DoorDash support. I'm blocking this customer. Not doing this. Not 2 times was enough. Not coming here again on one of these low-paying shopping orders and delivering to such a rude, miserable, disrespecting customer. Not doing it. And folks, when you call, you have issues with customers like this, and somebody that, or if we're talking about like a place that's like just unsafe. You go to deliver somewhere and they got like pit bulls and Rottweilers running around without leashes, and it's just some kind of extremely scary, unsafe situation, or an extremely rude, disrespectful customer, whatever the case, and you don't want to go there again, you don't have to. You call up DoorDash support, say, hey, I got an issue with this particular customer, give them the order, give them the name, and it's as simple, I'm telling you, is one click of a mouse. And that's all they have to do on their end, but boom, then you don't have to go back there again. So yeah, so Nike hat lady, goodbye. You know, have a nice miserable life the rest of your warehouse working career. You know, like I said, I did it too. You know, the difference between me and that person is, though, I never, as miserable as I was, I never would take that out on other people. You know, I kept it all inside. You know, I made the mistakes. It's my choices to work you know, have a miserable career in warehouse work. Hey, that's on me. Okay, so I'm not gonna the mistakes that I made and how miserable and frustrated I was because of that. I'm not projecting that onto other people. 836, $10, 7 mile giant eagle. Went ahead and took this. Make sure that the candy is 70%. Oh, okay. I've no idea what that means. 70% sugar, 70% cacao, or however you say that, or 70% fat. I don't know, but I found it. Got an add-on, not doing a shopping order for $3. Declined the add-on. Delivered this at 9:07. I thought the instructions on, I didn't screenshot it, but I thought these instructions were interesting. It says, "Don't block my driveway." I never seen that before. So you planning to leave right when I come with your order? Are you expecting company here at 9:07 that's going to pull into that driveway? Or what's I don't. My wife thought that was weird too. I don't know. 7 and 3, 553 mile Tim Hortons. Had a and from this order on, it seems like all I did was wait at these places. 5.5 minute wait on this one. Delivered at 9:28, 2 and 350. Okay. This was pretty good order. I get 1449, 2.5 mile giant eagle. A lot of frozen stuff that was like all together, but it was still kind of tricky because there was like 50 different kinds of healthy choices in this, like the probably it stretched about 3 freezer doors. And and like, let's see, the chicken marsala, was that in door number 1, 2, or 3? It's in 3, and then the next one maybe door number 1, and it's kind of tricky, but it still just took me 12 minutes. um and I only found 3 of the waters. uh and what is this? So little less than like 28 minutes for the 1449. So that, I guess that was this was a better. I forgot about this order. It's probably a better order than that $5 order earlier. $6 and 8.49. Okay, and then I just scheduled the dash until 10, because I had another gig at 10:30. This came in at 9:57, but yeah, I, Papa John's probably doesn't even open until 10. So I would imagine, and would they have even started working on this at 9:57 in the morning? So yeah, I anticipated a wait on this, and I wasn't going to be able to spend more than like 10 or 15 minutes on an order, so I had to decline this, and went ahead and shut down at 9:58. So there's the first dash. 6 for $51.99. Drove 38 miles. The other gig was that's a whole nother disaster story. That was, so what time did I get log back in and get my first order? At 10:30. So I guess it was only, so I was only at the other gig about, I went and got some gas, got there. So I guess it was just from, that seemed longer than 15 minutes. It really did. So I guess it was just from 10:15 to 10:30 where I was messing around with that. And like I said, I don't want to talk about that, but that was a failed gig. I made no money. So basically 10 to 10:30 was downtime, essentially. $3 shopping order decline. 2 minutes later, not doing these mediocre Home Depots decline. $7 4 mile Bob Evans. Okay, had a 9 minute wait in Bob Evans. Delivered at 11:02, so 24 minutes for $7. Not very good there. Here we go, 2350, 16 miles. I only got to shop for 9 things. So it's pretty straightforward here. I just had to substitute that pizza. Customer didn't respond in the chat, but I called and she answered. She a real nice lady. She apologized for not seeing the chat messages and gave me a substitution to do, and so no problems there. 15-minute shop. Dropped the first one off at 11:56. And then 12:04. So this almost took an hour. Wow. It is what it is. 23.50 in an hour. 13.50 from DoorDash. $7 tip and a $3 tip. Okay. 13.75, 7.5 mile tropical smoothie. This didn't look too bad. I was coming down the interstate, approaching that exit. Let's do it. This is the next thing that like really aggravated me. Okay, so I get in there and I tell him I have 2 orders and give the names. And he says, okay, here's the first one, and sets it down in front of me and says, can you confirm the order for me? And I go and confirm it. Okay? This like right away, this just like a minute or maybe like 2 minutes into walking in there, because they had to finish up with a customer who was at the counter. So it's about 2 minutes in. Then I have to wait for about, the other customer is just 1 smoothie, and I had to wait about at least, I want to say 4 or 5 minutes before they got the 1 smoothie. And there's also like behind me, there was like 3 or 4 other different customers sitting down waiting for their orders. So I pick up in the app the smoothie, and in the app I have both orders picked up, so I grab the stuff and start walking out. The staff starts yelling at me, wait, I turn around and they tell me that the first order, there's more with that order. There was 2 smoothies with that. So I didn't screenshot the list, but so the first order had, all total had, I think it was like either, I want to say 4 or 6 items, something like that. And when they list these like smoothies, it mainly just says the flavors. So I don't know if it's like a smoothie or a bowl or, what exactly it is. And they gave me they initially set a pretty big, tall sack that looked like it had quite a few things in it. So naturally, I just assumed that all 4 or 6 things was in that sack. Because like I said, it was pretty big. But no. And so I don't know why you asked me to confirm something when the whole order isn't there. That really, like, that irritated me. Um so so I shut down. I, I'm again, like, I've blown my top here, folks. I'm already having a bad day. I blew my top again here. I I stepped back. I had my back against the wall, and I stood there like the 700-pound old man crybaby that I am, and that's probably how I looked standing there. And I just froze standing there pouting like a big crybaby. And there was like, these, and then every other one of those customers got help next, all four or five of them. And they all had to come up and get their orders and reach right in front of me because the straws were right next to me. And I wouldn't move. I'm just sitting there pouting, and they're reaching within like 2 inches of me to get their straws. And I wouldn't move. And the staff, they looked like they were kind of freaked out, like, man, what is this guy gonna, is this guy all right? Or I promise I'm gonna get my anger management worked on, here, somehow, some way. uh but anyway, I finally got, and I can't, I now at this point I can't 10-minute drop. I've already picked the orders up. I can't drop them, because then the order is going to get like completely like, well, I don't know. I don't know if I could have or not, but it's an 11-minute wait. Dropped the first one off at 12:38, second one at 12:44. There you go. 250 from DoorDash, 8.25 tip, and a $3 tip. Half hour for it's. Even with that wait, it still ended up being good. A half hour for 13.75, so it's still pretty good. Not messing with this $7 7 mile Chipotle. Minute later, and now here we go. Here we go. We're not out of the 12 o'clock hour yet, so here we go with the bad declines. Let's do a 12 mile, $12 Sonic going to the east side, decline. How about an upside down Starbucks, decline. Upside down Genji Go, decline. And pause. That's enough declines. I'm not going to decline 50 orders in a row. I went ahead and paused it. I went to Meyer. Initially, I was just going to go to the bathroom and get like a 20 ounce of pop in there. But once I got out of the bathroom, I was like, no, let's, I don't know. Let's just get something to eat. I was kind of hungry. I didn't feel like eating my stuff in my lunchbox. I went to Burger King. Sue me. I committed the crime. I went to Burger King. I got 2 cheeseburgers. Who knows what it did to my blood sugar. I'll check it after this video. It is what it is. 2 cheeseburgers and a Diet Coke. Unpaused it. 24-minute pause. Okay. Nope, the bad orders aren't done yet. Upside down Red Robin, decline. And then I get these like less than $20 orders going to downtown zone, all from Meyer, like a string of them. And I don't know, this seemed kind of unusual. Decline, 16.75, almost going to downtown. A couple minutes later, $14, same location, shopping 16 things, decline. A couple minutes later, upside down Dollar General. decline. Had to turn Uber on. It's a $6 12-mile Olive Garden. 6 minutes later, here we go again. Another downtown zone. $11. I got to shop 13 times. And every one of these downtown zone ones, 11, 13, 16, all probably all of them zero tip or like $1 tip. I can guarantee you. Upside down, Home Depot to downtown zone, not doing it. Just 6 minutes later, finally one that I can take, So that was another from like 12:45 to almost an hour there of downtime. $17 11-mile Meyer. Let's do it. 10 of the items was just sweet potatoes. You had and some the two things from the frozen aisle. This was 3 bunches of bananas. This wasn't too bad. And then towards the end of the shop, they added this coleslaw. So what was I didn't even pay attention if I got added money for that. Finished the shop at 1:56, so about 19 minutes. Had to text the customer on these carrots. Yeah, they gave me an extra quarter. So 136 to 221, 17.25, 11.25 from DoorDash, $6 tip. I only got like an hour left here. I just dash until 3:30. I don't do evening rush. Upside down China walk decline. Upside down Raising Cane's decline. 675 but I got to go to 2 restaurants. It is going to the same customer, but that's in my opinion too much to mess with for that little amount. I went ahead and took this $5 less than a mile. Only got to find 2 things. This was just energy drinks. It's probably like a 20-second shop, if that. That's crazy. I just delivered in just start to finish 10 minutes for the $5. 2 and 3. And I think I took this one too. $9, 6 miles. This was a little bit trickier. Had to substitute the taco seasoning, and there was like these cat pouches. 2 substitutions on that. 7-minute shop. Delivered at 3:08. $6.50 and a $3 tip. Pitiful. I only have about like 18 minutes here. If they would have given me something that would have just took like 15 minutes, this would have took maybe like an hour and a half, 2 hours. And I'm not even supposed to be doing alcohol anyway. So yeah, I know this is just one item, but I automatically know that it's alcohol from the title of the store is changed. So I'm not doing this. By the time I start to leave Reynoldsburg, rush traffic is starting, and that's the last place you want to be. So who knows when I would have got home. 5:25, 5-mile Burger King decline, and I decided at this point I'm just gonna wait until my next day. I'm gonna dash again tonight, 6 to 9. So I just wait. I didn't get the car stopped in time to end my dash before this offer came. Another like just $6 order decline, and then I was able to stop it. So the second dash, 8 for $76, 67 miles. It was 4 hour and 43 minute uh, dash active, 3 hours 14 minutes. So this is rare. This rarely happens where I log in like at 6 a.m. and I work all the way to 3:30 and I can't meet my goal. My goal was supposed to be, if possible, my normal 150 plus $25, 175. I made $127.99. Just absolutely screwed. So for the first time, and I'm not sure how long, I have to do a 6 to 9. So here we go. It's coming up on 5 now. I got an hour to post this video and eat something. I'm gonna be jumping right back out there. I don't like the 6 to 9s, but it is what it is. And depending on what I make tonight in those 3 hours is going to obviously depend on what my goal is going to be tomorrow. We'll see. Um, let's see. My AR dropped to 36% after that second dash. Now at 5,224 lifetime deliveries. That's it for now. Thanks, guys, for watching. As always, be sure to drive safe out there. The so the watch out for the dash tonight. When that's over, if it was interesting, if there's a couple stories or whatever, I may put out a second video late tonight, or I might include all that with tomorrow's video. So just not really sure. But thanks again for watching, guys. See you next time.